in close consultations with partners and allies around the world, Biden and its administration will weigh 2022 Beijing Games for U.S. This is Associated Press story. The State Department said Tuesday the Biden administration is consulting with allies about a joint approach to China and its human rights record, including how to handle the upcoming Beijing Winter Olympics. Human rights groups are protesting China's hosting of the games, which are set to start in February 2022. They have urged a diplomatic or straight-up boycott of the event to call attention to alleged Chinese abuse against Tibetans and residents of Hong Kong. The Beijing Winter Olympics opened February 4, 2022 to China, and China has denied all charge of human rights abuses. It says political motives underlie the boycott efforts. Both the Internal Olympics Committee and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee have said in the past they oppose boycotts. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think number one, there's two sides to this. China is committing human rights atrocities against the Uyghurs and I guess Tibetans as well. But I think that everything that's going on in the Uyghurs, which is basically the west side of China, the west side where Ricky's from,
That's right.
that is a true thing that's going on. There is human right abuses going on in China. It is happening. But if I'm Biden or if I'm the Biden administration, I have to have a bigger perspective here and win the war, not the battle. Battling over whether or not we should compete in the Olympics is BS to me. It's like that's not where you should be fighting your battle here. We have a massive situation going on with China, with the trade war and everything that's going on, and tariffs and everything that's associated with China, and competing for the top spot in the economy. This is not the place that we want to have the war go down over the frickin' Olympics. So pick and choose your battles if you're Biden. And yes, they are committing human rights atrocities. That is true. No fan of China and what they're doing, but this is the stage to basically voice your concerns. That's my opinion.
Do you boycott or do you not boycott?
I do not boycott.
No, not meaning America. Should we keep Olympics in China, Beijing 2022?
Yes.
We should.
Yes.
And people around the world should comfortably go to China 2022. Even the coronavirus has been documented that came out of Wuhan. 3 years later,
if this is where the Olympics is scheduled, is this the Winter Olympics? What
Yes.
is this? The Winter Olympics. So something that I've come to terms with is multilateralism over unilateralism.
Okay.
If multiple countries, if NATO comes out, and if a squad of countries and says, look, we're the EU, we're Australia, we're Canada, we're United States, we're this, and this, and we're all coming together and saying, But to go at it alone, unilateralism, which Trump sort of coined, that is not the look that I want Biden doing. So if a collective effort says this is what we are all doing, I'm in favor of that. Going at it alone against China.
Who right now is against it? Kai, who right now is against it? Who's right now against it about having the Winter Olympics in China? Ricky, do you have any thoughts on this?
I'm kind of torn, Pat, when it comes onto this, because I think that what ends up happening is that, I have a lot of friends that are Chinese, right? And, they're good people. They're not bad people. These are people that are very loving and smart individuals. And as a country, I don't know if I guess what we're trying to do is who are we punishing by boycotting it? The people or the country or the government? I mean, by boycotting this, we're saying that we don't agree with something. So what is it that we don't agree with? I mean, how are we so comfortable taking other material? Why are we comfortable buying other stuff for a cheap rate? But now you don't want to host the Olympics for the biggest distributor of goods in the world? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of contradicting, right? We haven't won the trade war that we won. Biden
we won. We didn't win anything.
I'm sorry?
We won the trade war?
We didn't win the trade war? Trump didn't win the trade war?
I don't think there's anyone winning.
Trump didn't win the trade war?
No.
He didn't.
Tell me how we won the trade war.
That's not the conversation. I'm going to stick to Pat's.
I don't think there's been any winners in this trade war.
I'm going to stick to Pat's conversation. So the question becomes, we're okay doing business with them. We're okay taking their stuff. We're okay having our things made over there. But now you want to boycott the Olympics? Kind of crazy to me. I mean, I don't like a communist country any more than anybody else does, but I think it's contradicting as much dealings as he has and his son has with China, which are recorded, him being CEO, CFO, or chairman of one of the Chinese companies that paid him I don't know how many millions of dollars. Now you want to go act like you're mad at them? I'm not with it, bro. Pick a side and stick to it. That's my opinion.
To me, it's a couple different things. To me, one, I don't know about, maybe we flip and give somebody spot for 2022 and let the world calm down with China for a decade before we bring Olympics back to them. I think it's a little too sensitive. It's like a divorce that happens, and Christmas is around the corner, and you still expect the mom and dad and everybody to come together and spend Christmas together. It's a little fresh. It's a little fresh for us to do it. Let's give a little bit of time to get everybody to come together. Maybe a year from now, we'll come back and do this. We just had the world shut down because of China. Let's face it.
That's true.
We had the world shut down because of one country's lack of responsibility, that somehow, some way, a virus comes out of there and the world takes a hit because of it. Economy, jobs, restaurants, lives, people, loved ones, careers, wealth, all this stuff that's happened the last 12 months because of one country, and yet we want to keep it there for 2022. I'm not saying we permanently boycott it. I say you need a couple years, give it a couple seasons.
Postpone it.
I want to postpone them. I don't want to postpone the Olympics because it is unfair for the athlete. Listen, I watch when I see like when you were telling me the story the other day, you told the story. To me, I took the story in a different way because I looked at you as my son. Not that you're my son. We're 2 years apart. When he told a story about, when the way Adrian said it, he was emotional because of how much he loves you. He said, look, we're living in Colorado. Adam wants to make a career in being a comedian. He wants to go out there and be a comedian and wants to make it into the NBA. So he's going out to playing ball, all this other stuff. He starts playing basketball with these guys that are Denver Nuggets guys. Then they say there's an open tryout. It's a D-League, whatever the league was for you to come through. So the same day you're going to go to the tryout, you tell Adrian, look, just come and pick me up at 9 o'clock. I got a flight at 1 o'clock. My dad's paying a flight. I haven't seen this guy for 4 years. I'm going to go to Vegas and spend time with him, right? The story you're telling. Yeah. So I'm just kind of like really curious with the story. So haven't seen Pops for a few years. You're going to go see him in Vegas. Your dad's obviously not here with us today, but you're going to go see him in Vegas. And but you're not like, I'm not going to make it to the NBA. Let's face it. I'm just going in there seeing what happens. So you go and then you text Adrian, you're like, dude, you won't believe it. I made it past the first round. Okay. And what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm going to the next one. So pick me up at 10 o'clock. And then you go and you play. You're killing it. And you make the second cut. Mm-hmm. Dude, what are you talking about? Dude, I'm still not going to make it. Just pick me up at 11 o'clock. You're going. You make it past the third. Just pick me up at the fourth. Fourth. And then you make it past fourth. You throw some lobs, dunks, all this stuff that's happening visually. He's selling it to me on what happened to it. And then finally, you're one cut away. Chauncey Billups' nephew apparently made it. I don't know who cousin makes it. And it could have been you. You're one cut away from playing for, being on a roster of the Denver Nuggets, having your own base basketball card, Adam Sosnick, okay?
Wow.
And then all of a sudden you run out and you say, I can't do it. You're running out to go see your dad. You chose dad over your sport. Mm-hmm. You're running out there. You see Kiki Vandeweghe. Yeah. He says, kid, what are you doing? You can actually have a shot. It says, listen, I'd love to do anything with the Denver organization. Give me your number. You exchange numbers. You get on the flight. You go to Vegas just to see your dad. And your dad says, what? What are you doing? You should have gone to the tryouts, right? But you wanted to go spend time with your dad. So what's the moral of the story? These kids have been training for years to go to the Olympics. We cannot punish them.
Yes.
It is not fair to punish the people that have been training there, the parents that took the kids to tryouts, to practice, the endless hours of clothes, driving them, traveling them, investment. It's a lot of pain. So the athlete cannot take the hit. So we can't cancel it. We simply have to relocate it to a different place. But we have to tell China, listen, it's sensitive right now. Mm-hmm. It is sensitive right now. We're not canceling you. We are postponing you. Let's let the dust settle. We'll come back 10 years from now and consider giving you the next slot when it opens up. Maybe in 2026, but just not in 2022. So let's pick a place that's done this before, Salt Lake City, Utah. Let's pick a place. There's plenty of places that have done the Winter Olympics before. Pick a country. Maybe it's last on the list. Bring them up right now. That's 20 years from now. Give them that slot. And then let's give them some of the commerce that people trust a little bit more, that they've handled COVID maybe better than some other countries have. And let's go over there. Okay, let's go over there. And by the way, then the challenge even becomes some countries that don't even want the Olympics to come to them. Japan may say, we've done it so right, I don't even want you to come into us. I get, of course, and I don't blame them, but you have a pool of countries that would say, we'll take it. I guarantee you there's 10 countries that would love to take them. I guarantee you Salt Lake City may sit there and say, look, if you want to come out here, we'll figure it out. If you want to go to New York and you want to go to, what's that city in New York where they practice?
Lake Placid?
Lake Placid. Yeah, Lake Placid. There is options. I just think it's sensitive. There's one group that I've been to Lake Placid, the whole illusion place. I've been there before. The one community that cannot take a hit is the kids, the athlete,
Yeah, they've
the
been training
parents.
for it.
It's so emotional, man.
Yeah.
It is so emotional. So
Because we don't know if they'll make the cut the next year.
exactly.
You
It's
can't.
4 years.
So-
4 years
so
is a long time.
It's a once in a lifetime type of thing.
Exactly. So anyways, we'll see what's going to happen with that, but that's my thoughts
But
as far as...
Biden doesn't have a history of caring about people anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Don't offend Adam like that. Adam just officially
Well,
right now is
I-
sorry for
furious.
offending you,
to
President.
chime in, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a great story. I totally agree.
It's your story.
Thank you. I appreciate that. One cut away from the Nuggets Summer League team. But if we do this, it needs to be a collective decision. Biden can't be the one making this decision. And something tells me that I don't think it's gonna happen. China does need to pay a price. But by the way, there was just a report that just came out. WHO, I don't know how much stock you put into them. They came out and they said there's a very, very high likelihood that the COVID-19 virus came from the wet market, not a lab. Thoughts?
Do we really want to go there, buddy?
I just want to know your thoughts.
I mean, first of all, who funds the World Health Organization?
We
the
do.
most?
That's why no, China does, not us.
They're number one,
We
we're
used to
number
be.
two, right?
Yeah.
And Trump even pulled out, right? It's like,
Yes.
look, I don't even want to do
Exactly.
anything. But
Who?
Biden's kind of
Yes.
coming back out.
A quote unquote independent report. We'll find the. Kai, maybe you can find the report. I just want to know.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.